going to leave this phone and go to my iPad.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Yes, we are on. So this is the Faithfully Fit team Zoom call tonight. We have a little group with us because people are getting ready to travel or they are already en route, which is super exciting. But it's January 18th, 2017. And tonight we're going to be talking about our Miracle Morning. A lot of us on the team have actually read the book. If you're a brand new coach or if you are watching this call and you're a future coach, this is an amazing book. And it's the Miracle Morning for network marketers specifically. Not only have I audibly listened to the book 2 times, but I actually purchased the book, which I very rarely do because I wanted to highlight, make notes. There's just a great amount of information in here. But what I did is I sort of combined it with talking about a power hour. And there's so many of us, let's get a little light here. There's so many of us that are in different phases of our careers. So Dina's on the phone. She's a PE teacher. So she's not available to work during the day. Heidi just retired from corporate America. She is available to work during the day. Others have jobs where they can only get their power hour in the morning. And so we all have the same amount of hours in the day. Whether or not we're working or not, we are either, taking care of kids or households, or we have our own personal things going on. So everyone's got their own version of busy. And the whole point is just kind of getting together and brainstorming different ideas on how you can really make the most of your time when you're sitting down to do a power hour. So I feel like I've had a turn in my business in terms of the way that I'm able to knock out my work. And I really, really have gotten over the hump of feeling like I'm constantly connected or I'm constantly plugged in. And for brand new coaches, just so that you know, I'm sure that Dina and Heidi can both attest, it is so normal your first year to 18 months to feel like all you do is Beachbody. Because you want to answer your texts, you want to be able to be checking on Facebook, somebody needs a link for a challenge pack, you don't want to miss, you want to strike when the iron's hot, and that gets really exhausting, constantly being plugged in. So this call is not talking about how to unplug, but the call is really about get the most done in your power hour so you can disconnect, because I think every single one of us can agree that when we're with our families, we want to be totally present with our families. None of us want to be toggling between Beachbody and our families. So let's talk about how we can make that happen. But before we get to that, I want to talk to you guys about recognition. It's one of the 4 vital behaviors that we have. I have mostly been inspired by Dina and Amy. Amy was doing this months back. Dina's been really consistent with it. But I'm in 3 Health Bet Challenge groups right now. And the coaches that are running those groups with me, we're doing one challenger of the week for all 3 challenge groups. And so we posted this image in each of the actual challenge groups, and that was the check-in post. So for instance, it was hey group, whatever the group 1 is called, hey, January Health Betters, we're past week 1, we want to spotlight 3 of our challengers. Each of the coaches picked one of their challengers that really stood out. Here's the reason why. And it was short and sweet. We wrote 1 or 2 sentences about each person. And then we said, for your check-in post today, tell us what it is that you did for your workout, what got you sweaty, and positively uplift one of the challengers that was highlighted. And I cannot tell you how amazing our challenge groups were on Monday. People were totally inspired, and these 3 challengers were blown away by the affirmation and the encouragement they were getting. So it really created a camaraderie in each of the groups. A lot of the working moms who travel started to have these conversations. A lot of the moms with the babies started to have the conversations. So it was really cool to see. And then what I did is I just took my 3 from my groups, and then I posted this on my Facebook, and I tagged all of them. So it helps your own affinity because you're having all of their friends sort of chat onto your post, but it also is showing people the variety of challengers that I have. It's showing the variety of phases in the journey. Some of my challengers, like Andrea on the left, is already very, very fit. where I have other challengers, just as you guys do, that have 40 or 50 pounds to lose. So it's just a matter of really kind of showing your followers to who your challengers are. So Dina, thanks for the inspiration. I can't say enough about how I think important it is to highlight challengers. Do you have anything you want to add that's been successful for you? You've been doing this a long time.
No, just the one thing that I do that you've complimented me on is at the end of my challenger's very first challenge. So obviously, you know, we have repeat challengers and people who have been doing it for months, but after their first 21 days, I always, you know, I pull like one of their best pictures from Facebook and I make them a little congratulations, you know, first challenge completed post.
Yeah.
And depending on how many I have, you know, sometimes I'll have 10, sometimes I'll have 2. So I try to do like a little either personal write-up or just a write-up of like the group as a whole.
Is that stage sleep training?
Can you hear her? Sorry. I'll go back to you.
And it's another offline conversation, but something was going on with May today, and I was like, I need to record this because this is going to be Dina's world in 2 years.
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel like I should record this and bring it into like my health classes and be like, this is why you should make good decisions, kids, because they're not always cute. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I'll go back to you.
So, I want to highlight Heidi. So December was an awesome month for her. She was top Success Club achiever and top recruiter for the month of December, which historically can either be a really great month or historically it can be like, oof, a tough month. So everyone, I love Dina's picture with the lips, and I've got, you know, great pictures here of just Amanda here with her Shakeology, just really awesome pictures. It was a really good December that created awesome momentum. But Dina and Alicia and Heidi, Judy's brand new into it. Laura Higgs stepped up in terms of recruiting. And then a lot of the Success Club, I'm not going to name all of them, but a lot of the women that are listed on here for hitting Success Club are new coaches, which is so important and so just extremely, extremely engaging for your consistency to be able to get coaches. Okay, these are all the coaches that we brought on to Team Faithfully Fit. This is our leadership ladder. Heidi continues to be consistent with Team Builder, which is awesome. And then we have a nice list of business starters from December, which is another huge accomplishment. And leadership ladder is something we'll probably come back and revisit in one of our Zoom calls later this quarter. Okay, I have to highlight Heidi because she just had her 2-year coaching anniversary this past week. And she hit Success Club 10 the very first month that she started to share the business. So she also at the same time hit Success Club All-Star Legend. So when you hit Success Club consistently for 12 months, you become an all-star, and when you become you become a Success Club All-Star at 12 months. And when you hit 24, you become an All-Star Legend. So legends get a lot of VIP treatment. They are able to register a little bit early for things. They probably at Summit will be able to get at the front of the line for the big store that they have. It's pretty cool. And so it's an awesome accomplishment that from the day Heidi said, yes, I think I'll share the business, Success Club 10 for 24 months straight, which is not an easy feat at all. And she just hit 2 years. And I'm just so proud of you, Heidi, for what you've accomplished in 2 years and how much momentum Team Fit and Fearless has right now.
Thank you. Exciting.
Awesome. Very exciting. Okay. Tracy put my 10-star, my legend in here too. That was literally, I opened this like 5 minutes before. I'm like, okay, well, thanks, Trace. So I hit Success Club 5 my first 6 months. So I'm a very good example. If you're a brand new coach, I never put any sort of pressure on myself to hit Success Club 10 when I first started. I was really unsure about the whole business my first 6 months in, really. I did not totally go all in until the first time I hit Success Club 10 and decided I was going to go to Summit. So I'm a great example of someone that was like, let me just pay for my Shakeology and see what happens. And I did that for 6 months, just kind of hit Success Club 5. I was good with that. That's what I was told that I was supposed to do. And then when I hit Success Club 10, I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to crank it and grow it I need to be hitting Success Club 10. So I did not start hitting Success Club 10 until I've been in it for 6 months. So if you are a brand new coach and you're hitting Success Club 5, please don't ever feel like that's not good enough. Success Club 5 is helping 3 people. It's an enormous workload to hit and help 3 people when you're trying to learn the business. So it's all good. Megan also, she just hit her 1-year anniversary. She also hit Success Club All-Star. She's another one that's hit Success Club every single month since she started and just celebrated 1 year. So she's also got great momentum with her team as well. All right, Heidi, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, great. So Ashley just joined us, and ironically, it's really funny, but she and I were not even friends on Facebook until October. So it's so weird to think that we have only known each other for a short time. But she has a son who's in the same class as my daughter, actually the last 2 years in a row. Yet we just first met a month or so ago, but she decided to do Cours de Force. And we met actually in person at a run club, my daughter's run club after school, and found out that she had 6 children and they're all boys. And I was like blown away. And then she told me she was running her own business as a photographer. And I was like, what? So I really wanted to get to know this person because I wanted to know how she was in such a good mood all the time and had all this energy and was running a business and had 6 boys, ages 2 to 16. And her husband is a basketball coach who's gone all the time. So I was very intrigued by her from the very beginning. And now I understand how she does all that she does, because she is authentically an amazing person, has a really big heart, has a very strong faith, and just finds ways to give back as much as possible. So she told me she was going to coach when her 2-year-old went to school. And we talked and she was finally like, okay, when I do something, I'm all in. And she clearly is. So her first month, she hit Success Club 10. And now in January, she's already her first month, she hit 12. She's already, I think, at 12 so far in January. And I also wanted to say that she did all this during her busiest time of the year with photography. So she edited probably over 1,000 photos, I think is what she told me, while doing all this. So I definitely wanted to spend some time to highlight her, because it just goes to show that when you truly want to get focused on this, talk about, the Miracle Morning and the Power Hour, she has got it down pat already, and what she spends her time on and where she prioritizes her time with a very busy life. So busy is definitely not an excuse in her books, that's for sure. And I would say she inspires me and my team every day for what she's able to do. So just wanted to congratulate you, Ashley. I think she's going to listen to the recording. So nice job.
Awesome. That is super inspiring.
Yeah. Oh, and then we have, of course, she hit Emerald very quickly. And Jill, and actually they know each other as well. But Jill also hit Emerald, within like a couple weeks of being a coach. So she just started coaching also in November, and traveled a ton. I think she was gone almost the whole 2 weeks that she had off in December, and still stuck with her program, did videos every single day, putting them on Facebook. And she hit Success Club, I think it was 6 or 7 in December, and is doing really great in January. So proud of both of them for my 2 new Emerald coaches.
Yay, that's amazing. Awesome. Good job. Love it. Okay, if you are not on a Team Cup, registration just started on the 16th. So all teams can have 5 coaches, only 1 lifetime diamond. So there were a lot of questions on what lifetime diamond means. If you've been a diamond for at least 1 week of any year, that means you're a lifetime diamond. It does not mean that you're still diamond. You're always the rank that the back office has you in. But it's very common. I was just telling Heidi about a coach who he was at 15-star at Summit, and 10 weeks later he was an 8-star. So he went from 15 to 8. ranks change, guys. It's just the nature of the business. That's why bonuses are huge for people who can hold 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, and 15-star. So your rank is going to go up and down, but the highest rank you've ever been is always your lifetime rank. So that's what that means. It's basically getting swag for hitting Success Club is really what this is. But the cool thing is that it just makes it sort of fun and sort of competitive. You've got this team around you, and a little, like a little blurb comes out every single week, and it says your whole team and where everybody fell on Success Club. So there is a little bit of momentum, and there is a little bit of a push, and a lot of camaraderie goes around talking about how, to win prizes. And what that does is it just creates really great momentum. You'll see, if you've not coached a full year yet, January, February, March are super, super, super important for good consistency, because that gives you momentum into the summer when things are going to slow down a little bit. So if you are not on a team, you just let your personally sponsored coach know. We'll make sure that you get on a team, whether it's, here, whether it's through Heidi's team, Nicole's team, Dina's team, Shred Nation. There's plenty of people that need teams. We'll find teams for everyone. No one will be left out. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm not going to get into this. I will go over this at the leadership retreat, and then personal sponsored coaches can pass it out. I totally revamped the BAT. It was bugging me. A couple things were bugging me. I'm still using the old version right now, but it's sort of hard to see. But what I'm doing is instead of just indicating that the national wake-up call is on 11 o'clock, on Mondays, is it live, or did you listen to it live, or did you listen to it recorded? I did some more things for accountability. Team call, is it this week or is it next week? You check so that it gives you more check-in boxes. Yesterday's post, instead of it being like a blank box, I gave you 20 boxes. Most of you guys are getting at least 20 likes on posts, so now it's giving you places to actually check those off. You can't see, but at the bottom, now I also have a place for you to write down what your social media post is going to be for the next day. What were your Success Club points for the month? 21 contacts with new people is what we're going for. So at the very end of the week, how many new contacts did you actually make? What are your social media ideas for the next week? I left you a spot for notes based on personal development. What personal development did you learn that you can apply to your social media? So it's very geared toward you working your business in your power hour, and you being able to take that power hour and make notes and plan for the next week. Because I think a lot of times we all kind of sit down and do our power hour, but there's no strategic planning in place. And the more you plan, the better you're going to be prepared for the next week. So we'll get into the BAT a little bit more. You can't even see the whole thing just because PowerPoint's not the best avenue to show this, but we'll get into that. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 3 examples. So I have an early morning power hour. This is actually the one that I just did on Sunday. I have last Monday I did a power hour, and then and then I've got the power hour in the middle of the day. And I just want to walk you guys through what has really helped me in terms of getting ready for my power hours. So I definitely use the BAT, right? And I use the BAT because sometimes not sometimes, every Sunday night I print my BAT. And the first thing I do is I go to the very bottom, and this is what I just changed. You can't see it. But there's bottom boxes for every day of the week, right? And what I'm doing for every single day, you can see I've changed it around a little bit, but on here, I list out what I'm posting. What am I posting about Monday? What am I posting about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is on here, so that I know before my week starts what my social media posts are going to be. Because if there is anything that happens in my business, I want one good social media post. Not an engaging post about what does your inbox look like, 0 messages or 6,000 messages. Those are great for engagement, and those are extras, toppings on my Sunday. But I really want something meaty, whether that's about my autoimmune, whether that's about, my team coming together, whether that's about tomorrow I'm doing words of truth about a challenger that took a picture of her legs and talked about how for the first time she's so proud of how strong her legs are and not how big her thighs are. My Sweat with Your Sweetheart challenge group, the call to action for that, my personal development. So I've got all of my posts prepared the week before. So that's the first thing I do when I sit down on a Sunday. And then what I do, because I keep track of my BAT, I look back at my last week and I'm like, where am I suffering a little bit? What is it that I need to work on? What needs to be my area of focus? And the reason I know that is because I've gone through and I've looked, how many new contacts did I make? How many people did I invite to challenge groups? How many people did I drop seeds about coaching? And so the answer to that last week was I dropped 2 seeds about coaching and I only invited 5 people all week long. So I knew going into this week that had to be my focus. Inviting to challenge groups, talking to my current challengers and starting to plant seeds about being a coach and getting ready for that coaching opportunity call. And I needed to focus on just touching more people, starting more conversations with people. So let's get into that part of the PowerPoint. So on Sunday night, I knew that Monday I was going to have a block from 9:45 to 1:15. Now, if you're working, you don't have that kind of a block on a Monday, but I'm going to show you how you can take pieces of this and literally, if you've got 30 minutes, that's what you're going to do. So what I do is I write down everything I needed to do. So here's an example. I just wrote it all down first. I needed to go live on the Fixate show because my personal development that I'm reading right now is a Darren Hardy book about the entrepreneurial roller coaster. And there's a chapter about always talking about your products. And I have realized that when it comes to Fixate, the cooking show, when it comes to recovery or recharge or energize or the fiber boost or the focused energy, these are all products that I use and have been using for 18 months. And the Fixate show, I just started watching religiously probably about 6 weeks ago. And guess what? I've not said a word to anyone about it. So shame on me. So I'm reading my personal development. I'm like, that's it. I'm going to go live and I'm going to talk about the Fixate show. It ties in beautifully to the challenge pack this month. So I wrote that down. I got to tend to my challenge group. I've got 80 challengers in a group right now. I've got to make sure I'm giving those challengers attention. Had a call with my regional guy, Kevin. I need to check volume and downline review, right? I need to look at who's buying things, who's upgraded, who's inactive. I always do that on a Monday or Tuesday. I had to send links out to Amanda and Kathy. I had to go back through all of yesterday's post likes. I had to invite to January challenge group and I had to run ads on my like page for 2 posts. So I wrote down all those things and I'm like, that's probably going to take a big chunk of my day. And then what I did is I prioritized them. So the order that you see them is the order of priority based on what is it that I need to do first that's going to move my business forward, right? Talking about the product, sales. And I don't mean that in a slimy, gross way, but that's got to be a top priority. Taking care of my challengers, right? My call with Kevin is to go over a bunch of stuff for the leadership retreat. It's important to me that everyone feels like they're getting value from that weekend. That's high priority. It's moving the business forward. If people walk out of the weekend feeling like they gained something, right? Volume. Got to look at volume. Links move my business forward, right? And then the other 3 things, yesterday's post likes, that's not as urgent. Inviting to my January challenge group, that's not as urgent. I still have about a week there. And running ads, it could happen today, tomorrow, the next day, right? Not as urgent. So I prioritize based on what moves my business forward. Then after I prioritize, you guys, I write down a time next to each thing from 9:45 to 10:15. When 10:15 comes, whether I'm done doing whatever this says that I'm doing, I move on. So you literally start speeding and you're fighting against the clock, right? My challenge group, I've got 30 minutes to check in and reply to every single challenger so that they know that I'm reading their posts. So I got to do it. no being distracted by text, no being distracted by Voxer. It all goes off, right? My call with Kevin, 11:20 hit. I'm like, all right, dude, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. You gave me 3 great points. I got to roll, right? And I stick to this. And this enables me to get my stuff done, right? So that when I went to go pick up May at 1:30, I was with her, for 3 hours. I was not on Facebook. I was not replying to things. I was not on my mobile phone. So you guys get the point. Early morning power hour. So this ties into the miracle morning. So I still get up on Saturday and Sunday mornings to get my power hour in, because I have learned over 2.5 years that as my kids get older, like when May was a baby, it was just unpredictable. And now that everyone's on a schedule, and now that there's sports, and now that there's talent shows at school, and Mozart posters that are due, I have to be engaged with my kids on Saturday and Sunday. It's just too hard to try to chunk out any portion of time when my kids are going to be needing me and really wanting to spend that time together. So if I can knock out my work in the morning and have my miracle morning before everyone is ready to roll, then I'm not feeling behind, and I'm not feeling stressed, and I'm feeling like I'm awake for my family. I'm awake for my kids. So the miracle morning talks a lot about this. Waking up and staying off of social media or electronics until you've already done a couple different things. So when I first read the book, I was like, yeah, I'll try that for a bit. And it didn't last for long, because I use my cell phone as my alarm. So what would happen is I would use it as the alarm. I'd get up, it's in my hand. I go to the bathroom, I'm brushing my teeth. What am I going to do while I'm brushing my teeth? I open up my emails, right? So I quickly slipped back into the habit of going to my emails or checking how many posts, responses I got from the night before, or what have you. So I kept hearing all these top coaches at Summit or through YouTube calls or what have you. They would always talk about they only did personal development or some sort of devotion or some sort of personal affirmation before they started off with their day. And really, it wasn't until I would say 4 weeks ago that I was like, okay, I'm making the commitment to do that. Because if all of these 15-star diamond coaches who don't really seem stressed, they're pretty joyful, they roll with the punches, it's not always roses in their backyard, but they persevere through the tough stuff. What is it how do they stand out? What do they do different? What they all claim that they do is they get up and they bury themselves in personal development. They get their workout done, they do some positive affirmation or some sort of a devotion or yoga or meditation or whatever before they dive into their business. So I started that in January 1st. My word is surrender. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to surrender everything. I'm not going to try to control it. I'm going to get up. And I get up. I do my prayers of thankfulness. I do my gratitude. I brush my teeth. I put the earbuds in. I got Darren Hardy in my ear right now because I'm reading Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster. I make my tea. I make my Energize. I'm stretching. I'm getting ready. I do my devotion for the day. I push play. And I'm listening to Darren the whole time that I'm pushing play. So literally the first hour of my day, all I've done is literally given myself things that are going to help me be more grateful, fill me up, and sharpen my saw, right? As soon as that workout is done, then I open up the laptop. And the night before, I've already written out what I'm going to do. So this was, I think this was yesterday from 5:15, or no, this was Sunday, 5:15 to 7:30. I'd already gotten my workout done. So I knew that I had 2 hours in that morning. So you can see what I did. I followed up with people. I did my challenge group responses. I planned my social media for the next week. And I forced myself to do 10 invites because the week before I'd only done 5. Here's another one from the night before or Monday night. I wrote it out. I always write it out the day before. Or if I'm doing a nighttime power hour, I'll write it out at lunch or in the morning or just as I'm getting my thoughts together. Did a live video, followed up on likes, started new conversations with people, left voicemails for a bunch of my current challengers about how I think they'd be a great coach. For 15 minutes, I picked 6 people. Here's what it comes down to. I've had a lot of coaches that have gone through Getting Started Right training. I've had a lot of coaches that have gone Emerald. I've had a lot of coaches that have gone Diamond that are no longer Diamond. Not a lot of coaches. 2 coaches that were Diamond, no longer gone Diamond. 2 coaches that were 1 coach away from Diamond, no longer. Probably 7 Emerald coaches, no longer coaching. And everyone's a good person. This job isn't for every single person. But what I usually will say back to people that are like, I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. I think that we saw from Heidi's recognition that if we've got a mom of 6 on our team that's making it work, or if we've got, someone like Dina who's working more than 1 job, or we've got, I could name every single coach on how every single coach, I know exactly what some of their main challenges are. But if you're not willing to give something up to achieve what you consider success, then you have to stop pretending that you want to be successful, right? I read a post that Dina wrote today that she stopped watching TV with her husband. I know a lot of people on this team do not watch TV anymore. A lot of people on this team do not go out on girls' nights as much as they used to anymore. I'm missing one tonight. May's brand new class. And they were like, oh, you're the new mom. You've got to come. I'm like, I can't. I have commitments every Wednesday night at 9:00. I can't do it. I'm sorry. So it's not that you have to give something up that means a ton to you, but sometimes you have to give something up where you know that you're bettering yourself to work your business and that it's going to pay off. And so whether your power hours are a 4-hour chunk on a Monday or whether they are 5 30-minute chunks, the key is sitting down and knowing exactly what you're going to do and cranking it out, right? The key is there's so many things that we take away. We'll listen to personal development and it's great. Like I listened to Darren Hardy and he's like, hey, you got to talk about your products. You got to talk about your products. When you hear something like that, you have a choice. You can either be like, yeah, it's good advice. I need to do that more. Or boom, you can take action and do it. What can I do to talk about my products more? Oh, Fixate. Duh. We're selling digital all access challenge packs. And the crazy thing is when I start talking about Fixate, I cannot tell you how many people were like, no way. I had no idea. I love cooking shows. I watch them all the time. So it's just a matter of taking what we know and applying it and really planning. I challenge every single person to sit down on a Sunday night, plan out what your social media is going to be. Your social media is your avenue for talking about what you do and getting the word out. And it does not have to be like a post about Beachbody. It can be a post really about just what's important to you. Plan those out. That's a great start. And then know what your hours are going to be. If you look at your schedule and you can carve out 30 minutes, hour here and there, then just know before you enter that time what you're going to do. And if it's more than one thing, give yourself a little schedule next to it that you can stick to. And I promise you're going to see a boost in your productivity. Okay, that's it, guys. Short and simple, easy.
Awesome. I love it.
Great. I will send you guys the bat.
Okay.
I'll put it on the Poach page, but we'll be going over it on Saturday too.
Yeah. I love the time where you're like, whether you're done or not, because I find myself like starting, especially right now with all the people in the challenge groups with the health bet, it's so overwhelming. So when I sit down and go through them all, it's like 100 people, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So if I just put a time to it every day, it would be so much more helpful than me like constantly going back to my phone throughout the day.
Oh, yeah.
So I really like that. It's a really good idea. I know I've heard this so many times. It's funny how many times I've heard people say that they schedule in those times, but I've never done it to the minute like that.
Yeah. I think Kelly uses a timer or something. Like people do different things that work for them. And I like sitting here when I sit down and I'm like, okay, it's like a challenge. I'm like, I got 30 minutes. And I know it also enables you, like when you're going through all your challenger posts, like I'll do it from the portal. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to reply on every single Shakeology, right? But I am going to reply on every single comment that they're responding to for the check-in post.
Yeah.
And a lot of times if I see a comment that's awesome, I'll like try to draw attention to that person. So, and if you've got 30 minutes, that means I've got 10 minutes in every challenge group. And with as many challengers as I have right now, I will do that more than once. I will do it again before bed to make sure. But the old way was like any 5 seconds I had, the kids are in the backyard, let me just check in with my challenge group real quick. I'll just do it now so it's less to do later. No, it's just such a time sucker.
Yep, I agree. I love it. I'm definitely going to commit to doing something that a little bit more structured in my day,
Yes. And the personal development, like, so we're on day 18. I haven't missed a day of personal development. And when I say personal development, guys, just for a lot of the newer coaches, I think personal development is great, right? I could give you a bazillion books, but I also think just as important as personal development is this like, studying our business a little bit. And so the coaches coming to the retreat are understudying under somebody. That's to me, that's professional development. That's learning our trade a little bit more. I know Kara Treeweek just started listening to the Shakeology podcast. That is also important because we can be so filled up as leaders or as like people where we're really understanding our vision and our focus. But like, if we can't explain why, Ashwagandha powder in Shakeology is controversial, we need to know that, we need to know those things. So that's just as important. So that's what I mean by, or a national wake up call.
To add to that, Tracy, one of my strengths, I think, is professional development. My huge weakness is personal development.
Yeah.
I just got my Team Cup team together. And so like we were kind of brainstorming ideas on like what we could do, to really get us going. And Brandy came up with the idea of us all doing the same book. And so I kind of wanted to throw it out there to maybe the rest of the team, Team Cup posts, and just see like if anyone else wants to do it with us. And I think we're going to do Get Over Your Damn Self, which I haven't read yet, but it looks great. So
awesome.
So I'm excited because
that's a great idea. I love it. For a Team Cup, another good one, because this is super easy. Look how little it is. It's like a little book, but it's a John Maxwell. He's got so many of them, but this one is Mentoring 101. And I'm reading this with my mastermind group, other coaches, but it's tiny, it's easy. One chapter takes like 7 minutes to read. So for anyone that's watching the recording, that's like, oh, that's a good idea. That's another really good one is the mentoring piece of it, whether you're mentoring your challengers or your coaches that you're bringing on, but that's an awesome idea. Cool. Okay. I think that's it. I'll just put a copy of the bat up. Again, people who are watching the recording, if you haven't read it, put it on your list. Miracle Morning for Network Marketers. I didn't even dive into the book, but I will say that I promise if you focus on not being tapped in the first like however many minutes of your day, it does make a huge difference in your mental capacity for the rest of the day. I'm finally a believer. It took me 2 years, but I'm finally. All right,
That's
guys.
awesome.
Thanks for joining.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
See you later.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.